and gone on to the area. So I'm sure we're going to be entertained tonight. So would you please welcome with the speech entitled A Happy Anniversary, Charlie Wachowski.
This week, as the media will be commemorating the 10th anniversary of the 9/11 bombings, I've got my own anniversary that I'm reflecting on. 10 years ago this week, I got some good news, as Chris did from my doctor. I got the all clear from having had a cancer. It was a cancer called a lymphoma, which is a cancer of the blood system. Now, are you regretting what you said about, I'm sure you're going to be entertained. I'm not the only person to have had a cancer. I'm sure if you reflect in your lives, if you think about friends, family, neighbours, work colleagues, I'm sure you probably all think of one person or more who's been affected by cancer. Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests, the reason why I want to talk about my experience with cancer is just to share a few insights and really to give you an understanding about how the approach that I took to it, because I found it quite helpful, clearly, because I'm still here. And there are some tips and some ideas that you may be able to use if you're in the unfortunate position where you're supporting a friend or family member. So let me take you through it. It all starts with a diagnosis. Go to the doctor, have some tests, and at some point in time, the doctor says to you, as he said to me, I'm afraid you've got a cancer. And then what happens? Panic. Oh my God! I'm going to die. And then the questions. Questions start flooding into your mind. Why did I get it? How did I get it? Where did it come from? Am I really going to die? How long have I got to die? That's a moment that I wish someone had come along and given me a slap and calmed me down a bit. I needed to have some perspective. If you look on Cancer Research's website, they'll tell you that of all the cancers in this country, 75% of cancer patients survive. And for some cancers, including the one that I had, the survival rate's even higher. So I needed to have a little bit of perspective. Anyway, that's the diagnosis. Move from the diagnosis really quickly to treatment. And what does treatment look like? It can be surgery, to remove the offending article. It can be radiotherapy, when you get these very powerful radio waves directed, focused on specifically the part of your body where it's lurking and zapping it out. And it can be chemotherapy, which is what I seem to specialise in. Chemotherapy is basically chemical therapy. They have about 200 different cocktails that they can combine and give you in a drip to clear the cancer. What it does is it attacks the fast-growing cells. So it kills the cancer cells, but it also attacks the other fast-growing cells that we have, which is why you see cancer patients lose their hair, and why you see them very tired, and why you see them with mouth ulcers, that sort of thing. So what happens? You have all this treatment, you've got the diagnosis, your mind's going a bit crazy, and you have this role. You've changed from being functioning person, man about town, family man, or working, all of that, to suddenly patient. Passive, pliant, compliant. Now that didn't suit me very well. I wanted all the medical intervention, I wanted the support, but actually I wanted to do a little bit more. So I embarked on a scheme of complementary therapy. Now complementary therapy is exactly what it says on the tin. It complements the medical stuff. So it's not weird and wacky alternative stuff. It's doing stuff that supports the medical interventions you have. So this is what I did. Firstly, I started reading self-help books, books by cancer experts, powerful and inspiring survival stories. And this started to give me things. It started to give me hope, and it started to give me some strategies, some things to do. So I had that in the bank. Then, I started changing what I was putting into my body. So I changed my diet. I got rid of the stuff I shouldn't be eating, and I started taking on board the things that I needed to eat. Antioxidants, strong, powerful, cancer-killing food, lots of raw vegetables, lots of raw juicing, that sort of stuff. I also started and still carry on taking a whole regime of vitamins and minerals that really helped me to recover quickly from all the side effects. So I'm getting my body strong, I'm getting my head in the right place, but I really needed to do a bit more work, and that was more on the spirit. And this was the thing that I think made the biggest difference. I started meditating. Now, if you've had a serious illness, one of the things that happens is, and certainly in my case, all I could do was think about the serious illness. Meditate, it gives you half an hour off it. Half an hour of waking time not to think about it, to focus on something else. I also started visualising. I'm a great believer in the power of the mind to be able to control what the body does. So when I visualise, I can visualise myself strong and healthy. So I put all these things together, my complementary package, the medical stuff, and then things started happening. The medicine that wasn't working started to work. The doctors just stopped talking about, I'm going to die, and started talking about, I'm going to survive. And then, 10 years ago this week, I got the happy anniversary. I got the moment when they said, Mr. Wachowski, off you go, you're all clear. Now, the approach that I describe won't work for everyone, and I'm very conscious, because I've had this conversation with people before who have tried these sort of things and they haven't survived. Obviously, I had the conversation before. My mother was a case in point. My mother, a few years after me, she had a cancer, and she pretty well went on the same regime as me, and she really threw herself into it, but she didn't survive. But she has survived a lot longer than the doctor thought she would survive. And she remained positive, and she remained fighting, and she remained really engaged and having fun. She was skiing in the Rockies 3 weeks before she died. So she's a real inspiration. Now, I've shared these thoughts and these reflections because you might find yourself in a situation where a friend, a colleague, someone says, I've got cancer, or my wife's got cancer, whatever it is. And I just really want people to know that you can really empower yourself and you can really do things, and cancer patients can take the fight on and they can make a strong contribution which will really help to get over an illness. So I'm going to leave you with a final thought, and it's a Japanese teaching, and it's something that helped me when I was ill and still helps me now. And it goes, enjoy what there is to enjoy. Suffer what there is to suffer. Treat enjoyment and suffering as part of life, and keep moving forward. Madam Chair.